fooling around here. Tiger going away. Hannah Hayden coming in. There'll be a press conference for the University of Memphis women's basketball coach. We'll meet her today for the first time. Opening night at AutoZone Park. The Redbirds were winners again. They are now 4-0. There were only 2,000 fans in the ballpark, and that was the announced crowd. That's sad because we know folks will come. Banana Ball sold out 2 games. In that opener, Memphis' own, or I should say the area's own, Blaze Jordan, who happens to be a Tim Doolin represented player. Blaze Jordan hit a home run in that game. It was Tuesday night, but it was opening night. I would have hoped for better, for sure. Last night in the NBA, Luka with his third straight 40-point game. He had 600 points in the month. 600 points this March. What surprised me is, even though that is pretty significant, he's the 10th guy to do that in 1 month, have 600 points, but only the second guy to do it in the month of March, which I don't know why, but that was Michael Jordan. So anytime you're mentioned with Michael Jordan, hey, look, Luka's in a roll. The Lakers in that month that he had 600 points, they were 15-2. I think they've identified how they want to do this now, and I think they're going to be viable as contenders because LeBron has accepted being the third option and doing other things. That is pretty impressive. Last thing, and we're going to talk about it with the big cheese, the head honcho in a minute. Coming this summer, Herschel Walker has been named the Distinguished Citizen Award winner. He's the U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas. He was obviously an All-American running back at Georgia. He was the Heisman winner in '82. He was the '85 USFL MVP when the USFL was really a good league. He played for the Cowboys. He was on the '92 Winter USA Olympic team as a bobsledder, which was the first time I ever saw they went to a track person to do that. It was pretty impressive. '99 College Football Hall of Fame MMA fighter. He's on the President's Council for Fitness and Nutrition. And as promised, Steve Earhart does join us now. Mr. E, tell us, how did this thing work out? Why you chose Herschel Walker?
Well, we're really excited to be able to honor Herschel. He'll be coming to town for our dinner on May 31st, so really about 2 months from now, 60 days. But Herschel's done an awful lot that people don't realize. He's recently started a scholarship fund at University of Georgia for folks who weren't able to get their degree. They can come back anytime in their life to come back. He's working on that. He started a business in Dallas, the Renaissance Man Food Service, which employs a lot of folks down there. And again, maybe the greatest running back. A lot of people, pretty experts, talk about maybe the greatest running back in history in both collegiate footballs. Looking at some of his highlights, and then in the USFL, the NFL, he was a punt return guy, a 240-pound running back. Usually it's the little scat backs that do that, but he was so fast and such a strong guy. He told me yesterday he's still doing his 1,000 push-ups a day, so he's still in great condition. So a guy, then, one of the requirements for the award is to reach the pinnacle of your profession, in which certainly Herschel Walker has reached the pinnacle of his profession. So we're looking forward to hosting him here in Memphis. I'm sure he'll be talking to you. I know, Dave, you covered his career as well. So it'll be on May 31st, Sunday evening at the Hilton.
So May 31st, that's
Sunday
early,
evening,
isn't
right?
that? That's earlier than usual?
It is. You're 100% right, David, because with our golf tournament is the next day, June 1st,
right,
at Southwind, and because the Southwind, has moved their, I guess it's the FedEx tour, I don't know exactly what they call it anymore, that takes place later in the summer, so we had to move our schedule up, which is fine. It gives us an opportunity to folks to play at Southwind on Monday, June 1st, and be ready as they're getting it all ready for the big tournament later in the summer.
Okay, so it's earlier, it's the 31st, and it is June 1st for your golf tournament. Maybe because of that, you'll get more football coaches to come and play like they used to, huh?
Oh, that's a great point, yeah. When, again, you've been at the history of our summer event. We raised money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. I think we're up over $6.5 million in direct cash that we've given to the hospital, but also it's the opportunity, the platform as as St. Jude always says, it's giving the opportunity to get their message out, whether it's through our summer events as well as in our game there, the highest-rated television event originating from Memphis that gets that message out about not only St. Jude, but about our community, and certainly a positive message that we can get out through our telecast.
All right, last thing very quickly. What's the latest on the bowl deals and the conference affiliations, and what is going on with that?
Yeah, everything with all the bowls has been lined up to extend for the 26th season. So there was a lot of back and forth here, but in our case, we have our ongoing contracts with the SEC, the Big 12, and the American going forward for 26, and then going into the next 6-year cycle. That's where all the bowls, including this college football playoff bowls, we're working on that, and hopefully by the summertime we'll have some kind of an agreement in place. But as you know, the Big Ten and the SEC are still fighting over how many teams will be in the college football playoff. So we're all set for the 26th year. We'll be getting our date and time for this year's game from ESPN by May there, because we without some of the bowls sharing NFL stadiums, they have to wait till the NFL schedule comes out. But in May, we'll be announcing our date and time for the 26th edition, which will be our 67th straight consecutive game, and what a great Memphis community event it is.
My friend, I appreciate you breaking the news here that it's Herschel Walker that is getting your distinguished award, a Citizen Award. That will be May 31st. The dinner at the Hilton, and then the next day at Southwind is the golf tournament. If they want to become involved, if fans want to come and see this, how do they do it?
Yeah, just give us a call. It's either at the 901-795-7700, 795-7700, or go to our website, libertybowl.org, and on our, just type in and all the details. There's a wonderful video, too, with highlights of Herschel's great career from the Georgia jumping over. Remember, he could fly over the top, like nobody else ever has. And then, again, he was a great track athlete, great Winter Olympics. He's still, in talking to him yesterday, he's still a rock solid guy. I mean, he still works out every day, and and he was very proud of the scholarship fund he started at University of Georgia. So tune in. It's posted. It's about a 2.5-minute video on our website that you'll very much enjoy. It's not on the video, but one of my greatest memories was, and those of you who follow track, they have those indoor, they call it the Melrose Games in New York on the old wood tracks, the sprints. It was a 60-yard sprint. I remember Herschel's, he was still in college at Georgia, and all the sprinters were lined up, and they were these guys. Mostly their average weight was about 160 pounds, and then right in the middle of the track was Herschel at 240, and he just dwarfed the other guys, but he blew them all out, won the 60-yard dash with world-class athletes. So what a great athlete. He certainly reached the pinnacle of his profession, one of the greatest athletes when you look across his career of all time.
Thank you, Steve. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
See you. And Herschel, he mentioned the folks in Memphis that had followed him, so hopefully you'll be able to be out there and have a chance to visit with him yourself, Dave.
I hope so. Thank you, Steve. We appreciate
Thank you.
That's the Big Cheese, the head honcho of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. A reminder to you, I know the chemical sale's coming, but apparently we still have time for the incredible floor model sale happening at Family Leisure. They got to make room because the spring stuff should be already there. You can get floor model hot tubs, spas, swim spas, the cold plunges. You can get them for huge discounts, especially now because they really got the new stuff in. Go see Billy. Go see Lindsay. She owns the place at Family Leisure. All of a sudden, we got a time change.
It's time for Dennis on Dave. Dennis on Dave. Dennis on Dave. Welcome to Dennis on Dave.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great.
Good. The next time I am on this show, it will be my 100th appearance on your show.
You're kidding.
Now, I've been doing it for over 2 years, but I missed some time. I had surgery, different stuff happened. You were out of town or whatever, but I'll hit the 100 mark the next time I'm on the show.
That is
we'll have
incredible.
a theme song for you.
Huh?
We'll have a party song.
I'm working on something already. Trust me on that. So yeah, last night, what fun! I did watch a lot of the Lakers game last night, and I didn't realize this. Luka dunked, and I didn't realize that Luka hardly ever dunks.
Yeah, no, he just usually
because he's such a lethal shooter.
Yeah,
he obviously can dunk anytime he wants to. He just doesn't. And yeah, you're right. LeBron has accepted the third role and has started playing defense again. Like, wow. Where has that been? I mean, he was the defensive player of the year a number of times.
I'm curious. Have you ever seen a guy? The only guy I can think of is Gordie Howe. That could be as good an athlete in their sport amongst their contemporaries and all-stars at the age of 41.
No, it's probably a couple of golfers. Tom Watson was.
Golfers. I agree, but you don't have to have the first step, the reflexes that you have to in this game, and it's phenomenal.
It is. It's absolutely incredible. So we got a lot of stupid going on in sports, and now the baseball fans have very much embraced the ABS system. They like it, the automated balls and strike system. They like it very much. The players like it very much. The umps hate it, and especially our boy CB Buckner.
Oh boy,
8 challenged calls in the Red Sox game. 6 of them were overturned.
He lost one last night.
He had another one last night. He blew, and this one was bad.
Terrible.
Last night.
Awful.
I mean, he called a guy out for not touching first base, and in the replay, he obviously did.
I don't know how you missed that. Seriously.
Look, you should never be in a situation where you have an entire stadium of fans laughing at an umpire. And that happened last night. I mean, they were literally mocking Bachner last night during the game.
Here's the good thing. I always like, especially if it doesn't destroy the flow of the game, righting what's wrong.
Absolutely.
So I'm all for it. And I'll be honest with you, you're going to find out who the really good umpires are. You got new data points now, and guys who I think are really good umpires, like our friend Andy Fletcher, who did opening. He's a crew chief now. He did opening night for the Dodgers. Defending champs, 2-time defending champs. I mean, that's quite an honor in its own right. He doesn't get challenged. He's that good. So the better umpires will now you'll find out who they are, and they'll work postseason.
And what we're seeing is that they are generally pretty good at their jobs.
Oh yeah,
most of the umpires are pretty good at their jobs. There was a time we all remember when the umpires seem to have come to the conclusion that fans were coming out to see them make calls.
Right.
The Hirschbecks of the world, they got to be a real problem. And then they were dealt with. And they're gone now. And these are and remember when umpires used to be fat?
Yeah.
They all used to be fat. And then along came, gosh, I can't remember the umpire's name. The guy he came up with the sort of fake muscle pad umpire uniform.
It wasn't Joe West, was it?
It may have been Joe West. It may have been, but then they're in good shape now. So this is something that I can't believe people think is good or exciting. The UFL's 4-point field goal. If you hit over 60 yards in the UFL, it's worth 4 points.
How many guys can do that?
Almost everybody can do that now. The way the balls are handled, especially now in the NFL.
Is there helium in the balls?
The balls in the NFL that are used for kicking are only used for kicking. They're no longer a game ball. They're a humidity controlled, climate controlled environment for these footballs. Last year we had 12 field goals over 60 yards. It took decades for anybody to break Tom Dempsey's record.
Well, that's the NFL too. I mean,
it's not just the NFL; it's the way they're treating these balls.
Well, that should be illegal. Then.
It should be, but they've done it, and 60-yard field goals are not a big accomplishment. What's going to happen? And this is really going to be weird, and it's going to happen if a team is down by 3. And they're at midfield. You had 17 yards to wherever the line of scrimmage is for a field goal. You're going to see teams that are going to deliberately take a sack so their field goal will be over 60 yards so they can get that point and win a game.
Or they can run back. They don't have to take a sack. All they got to do is run back and take a knee.
Sure, take a knee. That's all they have to do.
I would say this.
It's going to happen.
So crazy. Think about this. Seriously. If with the new kickoff rules in the NFL, I don't know what the UFL is doing now.
Who cares?
With that rule, I think the average starting point is like the 30, 31, 32 yard line, something like that. all you need is 2 first downs and you're in scoring position.
And you're in field goal position, exactly, because a 60-yard field goal is not an accomplishment in the NFL anymore. So that's stupid. And I was all set to make fun of Tiger. I was going to pile on Tiger. Tiger, he's retiring from a sport he hasn't played in 2 years. He's another.
He didn't say he's retired. He said he's stepping away.
Well, yeah, he's stepping away. He's not going to be stepping back in. I mean, Tiger's never going to be a factor again in golf. But he did finally, or somebody in his circle, finally answer the question that all of us have asked. Why is a guy as rich as Tiger Woods, with Tiger Woods' driving record, why doesn't he hire a driver? Why is he driving? He's driving because
the same thing.
Because he can't stand people overseeing him or nosing into his private business. Tiger, according to somebody in his inner circle, absolutely hates public scrutiny. Tiger Woods is in the wrong line of work. If you hate public scrutiny, you don't want to be a professional athlete.
Here's the thing I want to point out again, and I'm glad you're not totally dumping.
No, because this is what his problem is serious.
This guy's got a problem.
Yeah,
because think about this. This was a guy who was on his way to practice. It wasn't like he worked out all morning long, then he popped the pills because his back and his leg were killing him. So that's why he was, under the influence, right? Okay. No, this guy was going to practice in this condition. That tells you he's got a problem.
So I was all ready to jump on him, but you can't mess around with that kind of thing. This guy, this is being reported on ESPN right now, and this is so funny to me. Aaron Glenn, the head coach of the Jets, whom we all assumed was going to be fired by now,
right,
said that he believes that Geno Smith, who threw 17 interceptions last year for the Raiders, is going to lead the Jets to the promised land.
I think his record with the Raiders was 12 and 18.
Yeah.
That's very promised land-like.
Oh, this is very exciting. And this is also an NFL note. The NFL owners had their meetings last week, and they announced that they've done a massive increase on the number of people in their officiating headquarters in New York City. They've a huge increase, and they've given them much, much more influence. The officials in New York will be communicating with the officials on the field about whether or not a flag should have been thrown, whether all these kind of things. The reason being that they're going to be talking to replacement umpires. The NFL may go nuclear option on their own referees.
Well, I've always thought whether it's going to be replacement refs or real refs, I've always thought you see it better on TV. You've got 18 different angles, so you can make a better determination than the guy on the field for the most part.
But the reason that they're doing this specifically is because these umpires are going to need help because they don't really know what they're doing.
We got a baseball stoppage possibly. Did you see the amount of money the Players Association has amassed, like $500 million to pay players during their strike, if that is what happens.
There may be a work stoppage, but it will not affect the season. They will have it over before the regular season begins. And hats off to this one's tough. Adele Jaluli.
Yeah, you did that almost, so you shouldn't have had the inflection of a rising thing at the end because then you would have sold it.
Okay.
Jaluli, baby.
Adele Jaluli. He led a study at Harvard to learn why basketball players' shoes squeak. He and his
Watch, he's going to make money on this.
He and his team slid basketball shoes on plates of glass while recording the audio and filming it so they could see exactly what's going on the bottom of a basketball shoe. And they came to the conclusion that basketball shoes squeak because of friction.
How about that?
Well, thank God Harvard is not wasting their resources. They got to the bottom of that squeaky issue.
What did he get on that project? Did he get a grade?
No, I assume that he is probably a tenured professor, and he got published is what he got.
Oh, this was a professor.
Publish or perish. No, it wasn't a student.
I thought this was like for some sort of doctorate or something.
No, he's a scientist, and he's going to get,
I think I could have told him that one.
I think anybody could have told him that one. You don't need to assemble a team of Harvard eggheads to figure out that basketball shoes squeak because of friction.
Crazy. Anything else?
No, that's about it.
That's it? Okay. We'll see you for number 100. Wow. Number 100 coming your way on Wednesday. We're down to the final 4 in the Sweet Madness Round 3. In other words, their final 4 for the Dinstals. You can vote on Facebook. The number 1 candy. And I can't argue with this. On one side, one semifinal, the opening game, it's Cashew Crunch against the world-famous Fudge. Honestly, I think it was like 6-8 years ago. Their fudge was voted number 1 in the world at this international competition. It's up against Cashew Crunch. Many people feel that is their signature candy because nobody does. Lots of people do brittles and stuff. Nobody does a Cashew Crunch. Nobody. That little tinge of coconut, it's incredible. Then on the other side, you got Turtlettes. Well, that's, man, I don't know which to vote for here. You got Turtlettes, and then that's up against the chocolate-covered strawberries. Nobody does the strawberries like Dinstals does with the fondant, and now it breaks it down, everything else. And then it's dipped in the world-famous chocolate. I mean, I don't know how you do this. I did tell Becky when she gave me these results, I said, they're all going overtime because no one can figure this out. Anyway, you can choose, and you can pick up all this stuff at any of their 5 locations. You know where they are. They are in the burbs, Collierville, Germantown. They're downtown. And they are in my neck of the woods in Laurelwood, and where they make it, the big place. That's Unpleasant View. Go vote, then go pick it up. Dinstals. Joe Dank, sweet guy himself, on the business of sports. He comes your way in a minute.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
It's time for the Ultimate Hot Wing Showdown at the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival, Saturday, April 18th at the Memphis River Garden Park on Riverside Drive. See over 60 teams fighting for hot wing supremacy, along with live blues, soul, and rock and roll, all in support of the Ronald McDonald House at the St. Jude Walk. It's a sizzling day of fiery flavors, live music, and family fun, and you're invited. Get your tickets now at worldwingfest.com. Sponsored by RS Financial Group, ATC Fitness, Road Warrior Staffing, and Universal Access. This is your delicious chance to make a difference.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving 2 purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you're a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026. Memphis, ripping the Grizzlies, holler and go Tigers. Make sure your home or business looks like a winner too. Call Hall Power Washing Solutions. They handle power washing for driveways, sidewalks, and more, as well as soft wash, roof cleaning, gutters, and window cleaning. They're fully insured and bring the hot water for the toughest grind. Go to hallpowerwashingsolutions.com or call 901-258-1399 for more information and a free estimate. Hall Power Washing Solutions, turning Memphis grime into shine.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Hey, maybe some man will take things over. Hey, let him loose, hard to swallow. Hey, put you there where things are hard. Hey.
Welcome back in. We're going to talk the business of sports with our good friend Joe Denk, former GM of 24 and 30, and a guy who's done many a sports broadcast as a director and a producer. He's brought to you by Shell Dunn. Talking about business. If you're going to win in basketball in the Final Four, you got to have a point guard. You want to win when it comes to real estate? Got to have a point guard, and that's exactly what Sheldon Rosengarten is. He is the guy that gets you to the ultimate, the closing table in the quickest way to make the most money. He's got a strategy. It's a complete strategic marketing strategy that has worked for years. So he's got the smarts, but you got to execute, right? Well, how do you execute? You work hard. This guy works harder than anybody I know. That's why he stinks at golf. They call him Mr. Three-Putt. He can't practice, so he moves the ball all over the place, spraying it. It's because he's working for you 24/7, 365, I promise you. He says call 2 or 3 real estate agents, just make sure he's one of them. Once he tells you the strategy and he's really honest about pricing, you're going to get to the closing table. You'll get there quicker, I promise. Just call 483-0546 or go to MemphisRelocate.com. We head to Cordova. Joe Denk standing by. Good morning. The NCAA TV ratings are in. You couldn't have, at least out of the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, most of them were compelling. There were a couple of blowouts. Michigan blew out a team. Arizona blew out a team. But for the most part, these games were really compelling. Do the numbers bear that out? Good morning.
Good morning, David. Yes, look, it's been a good tournament. The TV presentation obviously is good. The tournament so far, total from the very first game through Sunday's action, is up 9% from last season, and that's the highest it's been at this point in the tournament since 1993. So I guess you'd have to say that's a success. So the tournament continues to deliver, and the games. There have been some unbelievably terrific moments. The best, of course, was Sunday afternoon, the UConn-Duke game. It did 13.4 million viewers, David. That's up 15% from the previous year, that late Sunday window. A year ago, Michigan State played Auburn, only did 11.7 million. But 13.4 watched the UConn-Duke game, and it's a plus 15%, plus double digits. It's always a good marker.
I'm really impressed. Well, you know what? That combination, that CBS, TNT, TBS, True TV, you know, that was brilliant. Honestly, we haven't talked much about that, but that was a brilliant move by those groups to come together and to present every game. I remember ESPN was trying that toward the end. I think they had it for a little bit. And look, that group paid a lot of money for these rights, but it's paying off. And I can't remember who was responsible for coming up with these options, but they've turned out to be terrific.
Well, you know, CBS had been a long-time carrier of the game, and having in a previous life run CBS stations in 2 different markets, you know, the amazing thing was when you had a local team involved in the tournament, you would get your local teams, you know, at one time, and it wasn't pre-determined. So, I mean, I had it in both ways. One time, when I was in Cedar Rapids, we had a year where Northern Iowa, Iowa State, and Iowa all made the tournament. Now, ironically, that happened again this year, but we had all three of those games, and I think at least one of them won. So, I mean, that was like ring the cash register. We've got local teams on. Conversely, I ran a CBS station in Green Bay, and Wisconsin played in the Final Four in back-to-back years, and in that first year, we didn't get a single game on our station. Now, the second year, they made the national title game, and we did get the Badgers in that game, but it's because the games are already predetermined, and you didn't have the flex opportunity to get your local teams. The viewer, of course, has been the big winner on this because they can pick whatever game they want,
right.
And no matter where you live, you can watch your team play. So it's been a masterstroke. It's been going on for a long time. Now this year's Final Four is on cable only. It's TBS. It's not CBS. So we can't expect the numbers to be as high as they've been on CBS in the past. But that happens every time it's on TBS. But this weekend will be on TBS, and so it's not likely to be higher rated than last year.
I'm trying to remember. How do they determine that? Is that just revolving?
Yeah, I think it's in every other year. Now, the interesting thing that's going to happen is because of developments in the ownership situation, Paramount has bought Warner Brothers Discovery. Warner Brothers Discovery is the owner of TNT Sports. So all of a sudden now there's going to be common ownership of CBS and TNT Sports. So it's going to be interesting if they continue the rotation or if the Final Four actually ends up being over the air on CBS going forward. That deal has been agreed to, not yet approved by government regulators. So we'll see. That may happen as soon as next year.
So they paid over $1 billion, correct?
Yeah, I think it might be closer to 2 than 1 on an annual basis.
Wow.
It simply funds the NCAA. Most people don't understand. Really, the NCAA's primary source of revenue is the men's basketball tournament. And the revenues generated to the NCAA, and we've talked in the past weeks about how they award so-called units, right, to the teams that advance. But here's what
$2 million a unit, right.
Right. But that TV money for the NCAA men's basketball tournament subsidizes things all the way down to, let's say, the NCAA Division III women's soccer tournament. Okay?
Yeah.
So it falls all the way through that entire organization, Division I, II, and III, across all sports. And that's where that money is so important because it completely subsidizes the entire annual operations of the NCAA office and everything else. They really don't, they have some sponsorship opportunities, but they're getting a big check from Warner Brothers Discovery and a huge check from CBS, and that funds their operation.
That's my next question. The economic model is the business model for the NCAA. Are the combination of Warner Brothers and the whole grouping that is now CBS and or will be when this merger comes through, they've got to be making it up in advertising dollars, or they wouldn't do the deal the way they're doing. I mean, it's a winner for both. Is the TV side of it making their nut?
I think they cover it. It's a relatively small margin business, as so many of these gigantic sports deals are, but I think they do cover it, but they do it as creatively as possible, and they do it in the past they were doing it with subscriber fees, and those, as we've discussed previously, are down significantly in the case of the cable channels, which is TNT. So it's never easy. I will tell you one thing to be mindful of that is coming and is very interesting right now, and this is the pending NFL situation. The NFL is rediscussing its rights fee deal with CBS because there's a change in control of CBS, which opened up that contract for review, and the NFL is trying to come to its current partners and talking about doubling the rights fees.
Wow.
And so it's going to be interesting. Two things could result from this. Number one, we could see a change of rights holders in the NFL because some people may or may not be able to stay in on the double. But what other people have expressed grave concern over, the head of the PGA Tour is one of them, is that if people stay in on the NFL but have to double to stay in,
there is going to be significantly less money for other sports. So the NBA is done for long term. We've talked about that multiple times. If the NFL renegotiates all of its deals and comes close to a 50 to 100% increase on those rights fees, where is any money left for baseball, PGA Tour, and any other sports? So that's an interesting one. We'll keep our eye on that in the next months.
In the meantime, Major League Baseball, it's interesting. You know, with FanDuel going out of business, I wondered, could I watch the Cardinals? Could I watch? Well, I can't watch my Cubs unless they're playing the Cardinals. And now I find out if they're playing the Braves or if they're playing the Reds or if they're on MLB on their game for the night. Because I noticed if you've got the sports package, which I do, on Xfinity, that I think it's 1260, 1261, and 1262 for those three teams. I haven't found any others. I think that's it, except for MLB Network, which I don't know if it always has a game, but there are some nights it's got a game. Is there any more? What's going on with Major League Baseball and what's going on with FanDuel and all those other things?
Yeah, so you got it right in terms of what you said so far. MLB really had to do a reset this year because of the demise of the FanDuel Sports Network as a regional sports network. And all of the baseball teams, frankly, had to scramble to find new deals. And in many cases, Major League Baseball is actually providing the production services to local teams to maintain these deals. Now, in the case of the Braves created their own entity, Braves Vision. That's what you are seeing on a cable channel on Xfinity. A component of the Braves Vision is a deal with Gray Media, who, by the way, has deals with also in our market, Atlanta, St. Louis, and Cincinnati. Tennessee is in the territory for those three teams. So Gray Media, which is the owner of broadcast TV station WMC TV, Channel 5 here in Memphis, and WMC has launched something called MSEN, a sports and entertainment network, on their digital sub-channel, which is 5.3 over the air and 907 on Xfinity. And Gray Media will carry 25 Braves games, 10 Cardinals games, and 10 Cincinnati games. But, you know, these teams and the change in their local rights fee deals is having significant impact. I read a story last week out of Milwaukee where the Brewers were a FanDuel network, and they opted to go in with the MLB-produced option. And the owner was quoted as saying they have lost $22 million on their local TV rights deal for this season. That's a one-season hit of $22 million. The Brewers are amongst the smallest markets in Major League Baseball. So St. Louis is a bigger market. Cincinnati's a bigger market. You have to think that maybe their loss is even bigger. So these are huge, and they continue. You know, the other thing is this. There is change in the out-of-market MLB Extra Innings package, and, of course, that's available for subscription. That just comes in just under $150 for the entire season, and that is now available on the ESPN app, but it remains available as well on Xfinity. So if you are, well, let's just say, a Cubs fan living in Memphis, David, for $150, one-time fee, you get every Cubs game except when they play Atlanta, St. Louis, or Cincinnati, because those games would be blacked out on Extra Innings in the home market.
But I'd be able to watch it on 1261, 1262, or 1260, right?
Well, that's right. So you'd still get it.
I'd still get it.
So you could could see every Cubs game this
for
year
$150.
$150,
yes,
you know?
That's not a bad deal. My question would be...
Not if you try to buy a ticket to a baseball game
no,
for you
you're
and
kidding.
somebody else.
That costs
a heck of a deal.
That's one ticket right there for a decent seat.
That's right.
My question is, if the Cardinals are playing on 1262, but it's a game that's assigned on the MSEN 907 or 5.3, which one's going to get the thing? Which one's going to be blacked out? I guess 1262 gets blacked out.
Those are not blackouts because anything that Gray has is a simulcast with the coverage. So I understand it. That's how it's been in the past.
Okay.
You know, when MESN or when WMC has done a Grizzly game in the past. The game is also still available on FanDuel. So those are not exclusive. They're over-the-air, designed to increase distribution but not replace.
All right, last thing, really quick. Your opinion. This is not fact-based. This is opinion.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods stepping away from golf. Obviously, he's got a problem. And I think that's documented just by the fact that he was on his way to practice when he was under the influence, or allegedly under the influence, not coming back from it. So he's got a problem. And he knows it. Now he's stepping away. What effect is that going to have on the golf world? Because here's a guy they were pushing to be the Ryder Cup captain. Here's a guy that was on the board, and they have now delayed the release of the schedule that they're going to make all these changes with, including playoffs and where they might be. What effect is Tiger stepping away going to have on the world of golf?
Well, I would suggest that, again, my opinion, very little. I mean, all of these factors are obviously so much bigger than one guy. He just happens to be the biggest name in the history, probably, of golf as we know it. But he was no longer a factor because he's not playing anymore, and that was his influence. That was his influence on the game. He played at a level that had never been seen before, and he brought non-golf fans to watch golf on television. That was the primary impact. People were aware of him and they were not otherwise interested in golf. So he was a phenomenon. Unlike any other, he drove product sales and merchandise and apparel and all of those things. Frankly, I think it's interesting that he's on these boards, but I don't know how Tiger Woods can be aware of what an average tour player might be up against. I don't know how Tiger Woods can influence what the average tournament needs to do to create fan interest, because that was not his world. That was not his world. And I think it's at a different level, and perhaps the human level. This becomes just another American tragedy type story where somebody who had seemingly everything is now falling victim to an addiction that has controlled his life in a negative way. And to his credit, and perhaps credit to those who were able to reach him, convinced him that the time now is to step away and seek help.
I'm all for that, but I do think his effect on golf is huge. Besides what it was as a player, just because of what he did accomplish as a player, he helped with Rory McIlroy start this TGL, which is becoming a pretty popular entity. He has become a prolific golf course designer. He designed this public course at Augusta that he's not even going to be able to go for the opening and the short course. That they have so much respect for him. They want him to be the Ryder Cup captain. They want him on all these boards because apparently they respect and think he can relate to those guys. So it is interesting, but clearly he needs help. So the wise thing for him was to step away. I think we can agree on that. Joe, as always, I appreciate it. We'll talk next Wednesday.
Thank you, David.
That is Joe Denk on the Business of Sports. He's brought to you by Memphis Public Golf. And there's all kinds of championships. Every single golf course has a championship. There's the City Pub Links that goes on. There's all kinds of a new format, like a scramble that's going to take place on April the 6th, I believe. I'm sorry, on April the 18th at Pine Hill. It's an 18-hole scramble, but no, it's not just a scramble. Then there's alternate shot. Then there's aggregate. It's a brand new tournament. It's a brand new strategy. You guys got to get in. How do you get in? Well, you can go right to MemphisPublicLinks.com. That's publiclinks.com. And you can, by the way, get tee times there every single day for every single golf course that is, by the way, in great shape. I've played them all. They are in outstanding shape, in considering this is the 1st of April. Check it out. All kinds of championships. If you want to get into competitive golf, you can do it with City Golf. We take the break. When we come back, we're heading to Indy. I don't know if we'll be in Hinkle or not, but the NIT has their Final Four tonight. Tulsa's in it. Bruce Howard, our final roundtable. Corey can't make it today. Bruce Howard for the final roundtable. That comes your way in just a minute.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Parker Trotz, a partner at NST Injury Attorneys. After a car accident, most people are overwhelmed. You're dealing with pain, stress, doctor visits, and trying to keep life moving forward. The last thing you should have to worry about is saying the wrong thing or making a mistake that affects your case. What many people don't realize is that insurance companies begin reviewing claims and making decisions very early. Statements get recorded, reports get evaluated, and once certain steps are taken, they can't always be undone. That's why having guidance early can make such a difference. One call can change everything. For over 35 years, our team has gone toe-to-toe with insurance companies and won billions by protecting people when they're most vulnerable and handling cases with care from the very beginning. Give us a call today. We'll review your case. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000 or visit nstlaw.com.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. With over 175,000 cars served in our drive-thru, 4,000 online pickup orders, and 1,500 party packs delivered to offices and events every year, Corky's is your trusted go-to barbecue for parties. Our party packs start at just $6.99 per person. You can choose 1, 2, or 3 meat combos, pick your favorite sides, and as you know, Corky's always gives you plenty of food, so you never worry about running out. Whether it's pickup or delivery, we've got you covered. Corky's makes it easy to impress your guests. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to order for your next gathering today.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
We are piloting our way to Indy, the NIT Final Four tonight. You've got Auburn and Illinois State. You've got Tulsa and Bruce Howard's team against New Mexico. I think New Mexico's a slight favorite. Auburn's a little bigger favorite than that. You have 3 number ones. Illinois State is a number 4 team. Are we going live to Hinkle? Where are you, Bruce Howard?
Yeah, just got back from Hinkle Fieldhouse. The team had a practice there this morning, and they just had a press conference. So back at the hotel. In fact, we're at the Crown Plaza Union Station, kind of historic place. And just look out the window and you see where they're having the Final Four. You see see the big
That's right.
stadium. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty neat atmosphere. It's a little quiet now, but it's going to obviously get a lot hotter in the next couple of days in terms of number of people and the sizzle and all that sort of stuff.
What do you think this NIT run, this postseason run? We know it's not the NCAA, but it's got to mean something to your program. What has it done for the Tulsa Golden Hurricane?
Well, it's just kind of added to what was already a pretty darn good season. To get to 29 wins, there's only been one other team, Tulsa's Elite Eight team, that's reached this many wins. So it's been pretty special, and honestly, for the guys and for Eric Conkle, just to be together for another couple of games, another few games. Every time they win, they get another couple of practices. And this has been a fun team to watch, and for Coach Conkle, it's been a fun team to coach. I mean, he's had more fun this year than I think any other previous year here, and maybe in his entire career. This has been a special team.
You're if you win this, let me get this correct. If you win this, 30 wins, that would be the most in Tulsa history?
No, 32 was the most
32.
in Tulsa history, and that was the Elite Eight team in 2000 under Bill Self. But yeah, if Tulsa wins it, they get to 31. They'd still be one shy of the all-time. But this is, you don't get to 30 very often.
Yeah, I guess the other nice benefit of this is you haven't lost a player in the portal yet.
Yeah, exactly. You're already hearing, obviously, from a lot of programs as to who's leaving, who's going, and all that sort of thing. So, at least that's been stymied for a day or two.
I don't know the answer to this because, Memphis has won 2 NIT championships. The program really began in the 50s when the NIT was as big as the NCAA, and they had some key famous names like Will Wilfong that really started putting Memphis on the basketball collegiate map. And then, of course, they won in Madison Square Garden, Cal's second year, I think, with the program, and then Penny won during COVID. But I've never known financially, and it's changed over time, I've never known financially what that means to the school or to the league, the American. And in this particular case, we know NCAA teams, they get $2 million per unit, and this year the American just got the 1 unit because they got the one game with South Florida that lost to Louisville. Do you know what the financial setup is with the NIT and the American and Tulsa? In other words, do you make money off of this? Does the school get any reward for getting this far?
I don't know the answer to that question. It's a good question, especially since the NIT is now associated with and is being run by the NCAA.
Right.
But I don't think there's anything like units or any of that sort of thing. And you remember back in the day with the NIT, it was kind of the good old boy network, and it was, hey, Tulsa, you got a pretty good record. We'll send you down to Stillwater, and play Oklahoma State.
Right.
They used to really regionalize it. They still do a little bit, but back in the day, it was, how can we do this as cheaply as possible? And back in the old NIT,
and where it would draw. I mean, you went to Oklahoma State because they felt like Oklahoma State would sell out, and you might not. That's
right.
That was the bottom line in those days. Memphis was the beneficiary of a bunch of those. And if you look at this particular setup this year, you were the number 1 team, and I guess Wichita State did upset Oklahoma State, but you had the home court advantage against them. So did Auburn, and so did New Mexico. They were all home teams. The only one that pulled the upset, and I don't know who they beat, but that was Illinois State.
Yeah, I mean, it was, one of those situations where, you get those home games, and you're hopefully at an advantage, and I think Tulsa was. They ended up in the 4 games against Wichita State. They ended up splitting. In the 2 games that Tulsa won, they were able to win, on their home floor, and then they lost at Wichita and then lost in the tournament. So, yes, it's a big advantage, I think, to have those home games. Illinois State upset Wake Forest, who was the number 1 seed, and obviously at Wake. So they're the one outlier that's in this tournament. But like Memphis, Tulsa's won 2 of these. And the last time Tulsa won was Buzz Peterson's year, and Eric Conkle was actually a GA on that team. He was his first coaching experience was at Tulsa 25 years ago. And Tulsa won a home game, and then they had to go to Minnesota and win in overtime. 2 days later, they had to go to Starkville, Mississippi, and win at Mississippi State against 2 teams. Really, Mississippi State was not drawing nearly what Tulsa was drawing at the time. So we were not happy with the way they moved us around. But, Tulsa ended up winning all of those games and won it all and beat John Calipari's first Memphis team. I think it was his first or second team that went up to Madison Square Garden, and Tulsa beat him in the semis.
Was that Frank Haith? Was he the coach then?
No, that was Buzz Peterson.
Buzz Peterson. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I do remember that now. Yeah. You guys are the first game tonight, 6:00 Memphis time against New Mexico. They're favored by 4.5. I saw the line just going up. Wow. Break it down for me. What do you think happens?
Yeah, for the game tomorrow night, it'll be. I think teams are.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking it was tonight. It is tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow night. I think the two teams are pretty similar offensively, except for New Mexico has a guy that he looks pretty special. He's 6'9", 250. His name is Tomislav Bulja, and I'm sure somebody's called him Beef Bulja at some point. But he's a guy from Croatia. He averages 13.2 a game and 10.4 rebounds, and he's skilled. So I mean, he's a guy that Tulsa doesn't have now.
Yeah, that'll be a tough matchup for Barron. I can see that.
Yeah. No, I don't think he's as athletic as like Isaiah Nelson, but he's good. And then they got a freshman named Jake Hall who averages 16 points a game and is an elite shooter at 45% from three. So he's kind of like the Miles Barnstable of New Mexico. And they have players very similar to some of the Tulsa players, except for, again, they have that one big man who is really good and really skilled. So, and they shoot it pretty well, and they average 82 points a game. Tulsa averages 85. So it's probably who decides to play defense going to win the game.
Auburn, Illinois State, does Illinois State have a chance?
I think they do. I think Auburn's really, obviously, very talented. They're probably the most talented team of the four that remain. But it may be one of those situations. Are they interested in playing? We'll see. And Illinois State kind of on a run right now, and Illinois State's not that far away from Indiana.
True. That's right.
So they will bring some people. It's 9,100 seat arena. Hinkle Fieldhouse, historic place, and it was kind of cool to go there today. But yeah, Illinois State will bring some people. I guarantee you. And, Tulsa's going to travel as best they can. And New Mexico, I'm sure, will have some people travel. I bet nobody comes for Auburn. They won't have probably that many fans. I wouldn't think, being the team that
they got spring
probably
football.
thought they should.
Spring football
they probably have a spring football game or something,
If you win, you play at the NBA arena, right? The El Conseco?
Yes, play where the Pacers play. Gamebridge Fieldhouse is what it's called right now.
That's right.
Ran by it today. It's only like 0.3 miles away, so I may even carry my equipment over there tomorrow and not even get a cab.
You're tough.
Yeah.
So
I hope so. I
hope
that's
you all
the
make
case.
it. No, I hope you do
Yeah.
too. It'd be great for the league, and I know it'd be fun for you. So the more games, the merrier. Go Golden Hurricane. Bruce, I appreciate all your work all year long. This is our final roundtable. We'll pick it back up in football.
Yeah, and I know Corey's couldn't be with us today, but appreciate him, appreciate you, and always love our association with you guys.
Me too. Thank you much, Bruce.
All right, see you.
Good luck to Bruce Howard and the Golden Hurricane. And that's our show for today. It's been brought to you by the good folks at Southern Security. Need cash? You can refinance your auto loan with Southern Security, and you won't have a payment for 60 days. Southern Security will finance up to 115% of the current value of your vehicle, and that's for up to 72 months. You can find out how to put more cash in your pocket by calling and talking to a human being at 901-452-7900, or you can do it the newer way. You can go on the website at southernsecurity.org. They're not for profit. Southern Security can do things other banks cannot, and that's why they've been voted the #1 credit union the last 6 years. Southern Security, that's your home team credit union, federally insured by NCUA. Johnny Radio's right around the corner. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.